Welcome to Colorado Soul Stories, showcasing changemakers and creatives, past and present, who have helped to make Colorado not just a pretty place to behold, but a soulful place to be. I'm your host, Mama Jill, longtime Colorado resident, former teacher, and freelance journalist. Let's get started with our next episode.
It ain't gonna take away our home, my home, my home, your home, your home. It ain't gonna take away our home.
Hey there, Mama Jill here. We have a special treat from a lost episode. Many of you listened to my first enlightening discussion with animal and nature intuitive Ana Maria Vasquez, recorded at her home in the forest near Nathrop, Colorado. In this, a lost episode, I was recording with Ana Maria at a radio station in Salida, where unfortunately the first half of the recording was lost to technical difficulties, so it was set aside for the time being. We are resurrecting this second part, which survived, and dives deeper into Ana Maria's methods for activating our relationships with nature to create balance in our lives. At a time when so many of us are feeling disconnected, overwhelmed, unsure of how to stay grounded, Ana Maria offers a path back to balance through our connection with animals, trees, rivers, and the natural world around us. Her work reminds us that nature is always communicating, not just through beauty and peace, but through energy, emotion, and reflection. By tuning in, we can learn to navigate our emotions, bring more compassion to our reactions, and rediscover the quiet magic that exists in everyday life. Whether you're an animal lover, a spiritual seeker, or simply someone looking for calm and clarity in the cultural challenging times, this conversation invites you to slow down, open up, and remember what it means to be truly connected to yourself, to others, and the world we share. Our discussion here begins midstream, where I ask Ana Maria about her training, which came from nature rather than a classroom. Listen in. Kind of segue into more concretely how you are certified and trained, and then the kinds of things that you offer.
Yeah, right. Like, so I said, my training came from a tree, so he didn't give me a diploma at the end or anything, but was really good at answering my questions. And I thought as an animal lover, I thought I'd become a veterinarian, right?
Yeah.
That was the natural animal lover path that you all go through. And I just knew that I couldn't do that, that wasn't going to work for me, that there are people that I wouldn't be able to deal with that had intents for animals that would not be okay with me. But what people don't talk about are shadow animals. And shadow animals are any animal that brings up strong, intense feelings or energy. So normally we think about like animals that have been abused, sick or dying, right? And think about this, right? You're scrolling through your feed and you read one of these horrible stories, and you shouldn't read it because it's going to make you cry, but you read it and something terrible happened to an animal or multiple animals. And the first thing we do as humans is want to shoot back that energy at that person that happened to that animal. So I want whatever happened to that animal to happen to that person, right? And when we feel very self-righteous, and I get it, right? It feels good to like stick it to them. But the truth is, when we're looking at a universe made of energy and equal and opposite reactions, right? This is where we can bring in some physics and quantum physics. So if we send that same low vibrational, like angry, hurtful, violent energy, we're not helping the situation. We're adding to the situation. And what we need to remember is hurt people and animals and things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is hard, right? It's not that I'm sending love to all these animal abusers, and sometimes all we can do is send love to the animal. Right. But we got to get out of the habit. We need to retrain our brains. It's not an eye for an eye. That doesn't work. We know that leaves everybody blind. We have to retrain to send love to the situation, to ourselves, because we were just assaulted by that story. But when we add more of the same to the situation, we are disempowering the animal. We are adding to the energetic charge that's making it worse. So while you may not be able to send love to the perpetrator, you can send love to the situation. You can send love to yourself, to the animal, and we start to shift, right? It's a muscle that we're working. It's a different kind of muscle that we're building and learning how to respond with energetic responsibility for things. And that's everything that's going on in the world. It's really easy to say that side is full of it and I want bad things to happen to them because then they'll go away. No, that's not how it works, right? It's like cosmic whack-a-mole. You push down a mole in one place, another one's going to pop up somewhere. And it's because, right, we're learning how to navigate these waves. So we need to learn how to really move from the lip service of love and kindness to what really would be a loving response here for myself, for the situation, right? Sometimes you can't do anything to that situation to affect it. What am I going to do to affect my mindset after being exposed to that, right? Or now I know there's a situation, and how can I be in divine inspiration in my response instead of just emotionally charged and coming at it, right? It's a more responsible way to be with your energy.
Yeah. So say there is some situation like that. Somebody doesn't necessarily know how to work with those kind of feelings. What advice would you give them?
Right. The thing is emotions are energy in motion, and they're important, right? We have all of them, and they are vibrational positioning systems, right? Like our GPS, but it's our vibrational positioning system. So it lets us know where we're at, what's up, what needs attention. So if we're listening to a radio show and we hear a horrible story and we get mad, right? Like we have to be with that. So, oh my goodness, I feel anger or I feel strong energy and it feels like anger, because what happens is we're like, I'm angry, and we own it. And like, it's us. It's not me. It's a reaction. It's a response that's up to something. And when I own it, I'm not able to be empowered to shift that energy then, because now I own it. So I'm taking it on, and I'm going to react very differently than, oh my gosh, I feel really strong energy and it feels like hate right now, right? Like it's coming up. Okay, where do I feel that? I feel it in my gut, or I feel it in my throat, or I feel like I'm going to scream, right? Like we have to be with it, but we get so distracted by the emotion and then by the story that the emotion is telling that we just cycle over and over, and we beat the drum of what we don't want. A tree channeled a process for me that I share with my students, and it's called the 3-step process. So like that situation, like let's just say angry situations in politics are up and I'm getting all, angry about it, and I've got my story. So step 1, what's up? This is going on and they're threatening our democracy and all the things that I think I got to get it out, right? I can't keep pushing it down. Step 2, how do I feel about it? What are the emotions? Well, I'm angry, or I'm sad, or I'm scared, or all of them, depending which story I'm telling. Okay, so now we've honored those emotions. We haven't just pushed them down. We've said what's happened. We've said the emotions. The 3rd step shifts. It creates a pivot point, right? Because remember, this brain is a transponder. It's putting out energy, and right now it's been saying, meh, 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 and this is bad, and this is how I feel. That's the message I'm putting out, but now I'm redirecting it. Step 3, what's my real truth? My real truth is deep, profound connection with other humans. Equity, inclusion, fairness. That's my real truth. Yeah. I know that the 3D is showing me this right now, but the truth that I stand for is this. And that's how I'm going to move through my life. And so what happens then, right? You have changed the station. Okay. And now you've put that out. And for some things that are really hard, right, or really triggering, I might have to go through that process multiple times through the day. Sometimes I do it once in the beginning of the day, and then when the thought comes in, I go straight to step 3. That's not my truth. But some of them are a little more sticky, and you got to do it more. Okay. But that right there, that 3-step process, that is the blueprint that I use to manifest in my life, that I use to navigate difficulty, right? I'm still human. Just because I talk to animals and trees doesn't mean that everything is rainbows and unicorns, right? Like life is life, but I know that everything is energy, and I know how to navigate energy, and I know how to shift energy. So I'm not going to stay stuck in those same places. I'm not going to stay stuck wallowing, because I know thoughts create things.
Yeah.
And so I want to be clear with my thoughts. I want to be responsible with my thoughts. I want to use them in a way to create beautiful things in my life.
Yeah. And then that helps.
Ripples.
That goes out there. The
Yes.
ripples. Yeah. No, especially these days, at the very least with this visit, can give people something to do that's more positive
Yes.
than the negative.
Because people aren't changed by your opinion. How many people's opinions have changed your mind, right? Like maybe a couple of really important people in your life, but people are changed by your example. When they see what you're doing, that's different, right? And this happens to me all the time. People are like, oh my goodness, and all this intense energy and all the things that you're up against, right? Or in my personal life or whatever. And they're like, you're not falling apart. Why is that? What do you know? Right? Not because I preached to them and said, "Meh, meh, 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 meh," but because I am responsible with my energy and making decisions that change the outcome in my life. Then people want to know, well, what do you know?
And having been a teacher myself, that,
Yes.
little kids, different, but.
Same. We're all little kids in big bodies.
That's true. That's true. It wasn't wasted time at all. I learned a little bit about human development in general. But to be able to teach from personal knowledge, not just from learned knowledge that you're going to lecture about, that's always so much more profound to me. When someone can identify with what you're talking about, when someone can give a real life example and share that way, and then that gets people to go, oh, I have a similar experience.
Yes.
And again, these threads that I've had with the podcast, we talked on the storytelling episode about when people tell a story, then somebody else connects with it. And that is helpful. It just helps people connect more, even if they're from opposite ends of an opinion otherwise,
Because ultimately we're more alike than we are different.
I just want to interject here and share that this 3-step process, finding a way for myself personally to deal with my angst that happens almost nightly at 3 a.m., where my heart is beating fast and I'm panicking because of all the things happening that I really can't directly do anything about. And I feel like Anna Maria gave me something to do about them other than doing this podcast. I'm trying to spread positivity through doing this podcast and share that out in the world. But for me personally, and I hope for many of you too, finding a way to be positive and feeling like I have my own power to emit that positivity out to the source that seems so negative and so harmful, to just spread that good vibe and hope that it is received and it is taken in and can help make the change toward us being in more harmony. So I hope you digest this, listen to it over and over again. If you're up at 3 a.m, maybe turn it on and it'll help you get through the night.
We as humans fixate on the difference. That's a training thing too, right? This brain is amazing, but it's going to do, right? Garbage in, garbage out. We have to be more intentional about what we're feeding our brains.
Yeah. It takes, like we've said a couple times, stepping away and being quiet and starting there. Yeah.
And that's why, right? Like morning time for me, right? Like as soon as my feet hit the floor, my schedule, it's crazy. Yeah. I'm going. So I start, right, my meditation process in the morning when I'm still in bed. You know that moment where you're awake, but you haven't quite opened your eyes? That's when I do my first 3-step process.
Oh.
And I call it my team, my spiritual team. I call it my cosmic committee or my team, right? These are the allies, the guides, the angels, the ones that are on my team that help me. Yeah. And so I tell them what's going on, what's bothering, what's on my heart and mind this morning, right? Because I want to shift that energy before I get up and get moving.
Yeah.
And I might do the 3-step process on something. And then I'll get up, because once I get up and get moving, the world has 3 million things that think it's important for me to pay attention to.
Distracting you.
So I have to say, no, wait a second. I said this morning, this is important, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. It's crazy how intentional we have to be even just to sit and think for a minute, because I mean, those phones do a lot of things, but they're also just a little too much sometimes to start.
We
our
don't
day
need
with
more
that.
ways to be distracted. We're a very distracted race anyway. It's
Right.
just, but it's the truth with all of it. We have to use it for our betterment, right? Not for our detriment. But that's the truth with anything, right? Food can either be nourishment or a drug for people, right? So it's the truth with everything. What's your intention going to be with something?
Right. We talked earlier about Colorado being maybe an easier place to talk to people about these things because we're outside maybe a little bit more because we have lovely weather. But I heard you say that you've talked to people all over the world. You've been all over the world. What's that been like? I mean, what kind of experiences have you had?
Yeah, what I found is the people, again, Colorado, right? We're an outdoor state. We're going to go camping. We're going to go rafting. We're going to go skiing. We're going to go hiking. We're outside. We just like to, and it's beautiful. We should be. And I found with people, again, around the world, those who have a connection with nature already through their recreation. It's not that they're like, oh, I'm going to go talk to a tree, like maybe I would say, but they're going to go on a hike or a bike ride or whatever. They've had these different connections. They've felt it before. They might not have had the words to articulate it. And I get that a lot with the book, especially friends of mine in the area who, they know what I do. It's not necessarily their thing. But while they were reading the book, there's been a lot of feedback of people having profound mystical experiences in the natural world. Again, because it's like that red car theory, right? Like if you think about, I'm thinking I might get a red car. What are you going to see? Every red car, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So all of a sudden you're reading about a tree talked to her. I wonder if a tree would talk to me, right? And then you're reading this book and people who've taken it out camping with them.
Oh, good.
I'm thinking about one of our close friends who had a really amazing water spirit experience. And he is not a woo-woo person at all. He is a brawny outdoors guy, right? And he's like, Anna Maria, you are not going to believe what happened to me, which a lot of conversations start with me that way. And then people are like, well, actually, you'll believe.
Right. You're
And
the
it
person.
was this, the water had formed and got his attention. It was phenomenal. And I have so many stories like that where people were like, someone gave me this book. Somebody stopped me at the Vic one night and said, you wrote a book. And I said, yeah, I did. And she said, oh my goodness. She said, I didn't know that. And I was reading it. I had this crazy experience with a bush in my backyard. And she's like, I looked at it like, did that just come from you? And it happens often. And it's that piece where I liken it to the 4-minute mile piece, right? Before anyone did a 4-minute mile, no one could do it. Then somebody did it. And then people could do it.
Sometimes
it's the 100 monkey thing or
all
something.
it takes, though.
Yes, is the possibility that it could be done. And that's what I stand for.
Yes.
The possibility that we could have a deeper connection with animals and nature and each other really is what it's about, right? Like people come to me first for the animals and nature in their life. And it doesn't take long before our sessions turn to their own evolvement, their own growth, their own path. And then a quick, oh, wait, let's check on Chester at the end, right? I almost forgot about my golden retriever. But it is, right? Like we live in a world that is devoid of magic, right?
Yeah.
It's been beaten out of us.
It sure
And
has.
I get to live in a world full of magic, right? Extraordinary experiences with the natural realm, with animals. And the thing is it's great that I do it, but it's so much more important that the rest of the humans remember that we can do it, because it is great that I can do it, but it's not special. We all can do it. We just have to remember we have to slow down. The energy's subtle. It's soft. It gets lost in all the other voices. But right, like I didn't learn like anyone else did. So I don't teach it like anyone else did either. And so what I find is people who've tried different animal communication courses and didn't quite get it moving, they get somewhere with me. But again, I teach differently, and I teach like the template, the basic guidelines, but so that your own uniqueness can come through, right? Because the way you flow energy is different than how I flow energy. And it's not better or worse, right? Like, and we all have that straight hair, curly hair syndrome. Like if I have straight hair, I want to have curly hair.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is realize that it's unique how it flows through us, and you're probably already doing it and you just don't know because we've been taught to dismiss and not believe those things. But when I, in myself, when I'm doing sessions, when I'm the most in my power, it feels like I'm just having a conversation and it's no big deal and it's easy and it lands with the other person and they can, corroborate it. They can acknowledge it. They can confirm that what I'm saying about their animal or their tree or whatever is the truth for them. And again, letting people experience that flow through themselves on their own, because, right, like, and this is the whole conversation with autistic children too. They are differently abled. And in fact, they have even better abilities than we have, is what we're finding, right? It's like if you're losing your sight, your hearing's going to get stronger, or these other senses, right? And so what we have to remember here is just because the tree and the rocks and the river and the animals don't communicate to us the way we communicate, it doesn't mean they're dumb. Right. Doesn't mean we really do need to presume competence. There's intelligence. There's an inherent life force energy that runs through all of us. And when we connect with animals in nature, we remember it. We have a glimpse. And there's science backing it, why it's happening, right? Like from biophotons to just negative ions in energy. Science is starting to catch up with some of this woo-woo experience that we've been having, and it's fun. And at the same time, those of us who play in those realms, we didn't need the proof because the dog told us, right? And we were able to back it up, right?
Well, and I feel like the more you honor those things, the more those things honor you back, kind of like.
Exactly. This happens with people's animals who've crossed over. This is probably the best advice I can give to people. So, right, you're grieving because you lost your baby and you're like, oh, I get it, right? Like, oh, animals. But what they have told me is as soon as they cross over, they start trying to connect with you. And they'll do it through ways of, like, maybe you'll hear their nails on the floor, or maybe you'll hear their ears flap, or their tags jingle, or maybe hear them at the door. And so what happens is you have this split second of, oh, there's Fluffy. And then you're like, oh, wait, Fluffy's dead, right? Like we're so like that, like humans. And so the animal says, do you know how much energy it took me to try and make that noise in your dimension? And you dismissed it. So what I direct people is when that happens, so you have the moment of happiness, then you go to sadness, catch it again and be like, oh, thank you, please, more. Yeah. And they'll start showing up in really profound ways. Dream time is another one they can get in without a lot of our conscious mind, edging them out. But the biggest way is to pay attention and watch or find, right? Because like after they go, we clean everything, right? Because we just can't, we got to clean it up. I can't see another thing. And again, they will like hide hair. It's happened time and time again. Someone's like, I vacuumed the spot a lot and there's a chunk of hair there. How is that possible, right? But it makes us smile and then it makes us cry. But what we want to stay with is a positive and keep connecting with me because they're there. They're there. They're there all the time. So often when I'm in the session, I had one just the other day and it was a little Pomeranian and I could feel him standing on me. Like he was so close. I was like, you need to back up. and I'm sitting there, right? And there's nothing there physically, but I'm connected to him. And she told me that's what he used to do to me. He would stand so close that I would have to physically move him.
Oh, so that makes me think of you as a window, a door to help people remember. It's, to me, the biggest word that keeps coming up in my head is validation, because we haven't been validating our own feelings and we need permission to do that.
Yes.
And I'm tearing up now because that's what Mama Jill does.
Yeah. Because that's a point of truth.
Oh, yeah.
Emotion points to our truth.
Yeah.
I love tears.
I was just thinking about the bike ride I took yesterday after reading something or listening to something on your website. And I often, if I'm with my husband, he'll speed ahead. He likes to go fast. But if I see something pretty, I'm going to stop and look at it. Or
maybe sketch it.
Maybe. Take a picture for sure. And almost always, because I had a very long week last week and didn't get to ride my bike as much and be away from town. I mean, this is a smaller town. It's much more doable. But just getting back out there made me so happy. And in my head, I'm saying thank you. I'm going to start saying it out loud more so the trees can hear and but I'm really grateful that I have known Anna Maria for some time now, and I've known a little bit about what she's done, but I've dove deeper and learning more. There's tons to learn. And like I said, we're just scratching the surface. But I guess another thing I wanted to know, in a way, it sounds like sometimes people treat you almost as a therapist. Would you say a little bit?
Right. I always have to remind people I am not medically, psychologically trained. I am energetically trained. Yeah. But yeah, right. And people have talked about that. People will often use my services in conjunction even with talk therapy. But yeah, it does, right? Because it's about your inner workings. It's about the human condition, really.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah. I have asked some other people that have visited that do heavy kind of work. So I want to validate for you, how do you take care of yourself?
It's through that connection with animals and nature, right? Like I know I have to, clear that off, right? People have real problems. There are real things going on in people's lives. And in their animals' lives. And so it can be heavy, but I have to, first of all, remind myself that their weather isn't my storm, right? Good boundaries. I can be here for you and hold the space and listen and tune in and even share, but I can't take it with me, and I can never feel bad enough to help you feel better.
Right.
So the first thing is just reminding myself of the boundaries, because it's, someone's in pain. I mean, sometimes it's sobbing, right? If you've lost your animal, you know what I'm talking about. And it can be difficult, but to remember, this is their path to walk. I'm here as a guide. I'm here as a resource. And that's their path to walk. Now let me go walk my path. And that it's part of my makeup. I have to have time outside.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's just, sitting in my hot tub, which I love, and I'm outside, or just sitting on a rock. But I have to be, or sitting by the river, or being in the river, or, like anyone who knows me, I do a lot of athletic things, but I am not athletic. I'm really bad at it, but it means a lot to me to be out. Yeah. And when you're doing something else, when you give your brain something else to do, it's amazing the insights and intelligence that can come in. So if I can shift from worrying about the problems of the world to, let's not drown in this river, let's not break our neck on this run, right? Like when I shift my gears, other information can come in.
Right. So again, validating, on my bike ride yesterday, all kinds of stuff went through. Yeah. I was like, man, you needed this.
Yes. And I used to always say, gosh, I'm so brilliant when I'm in nature. And it's not, it's really the intelligence of nature coming through. And then I'm just the mouthpiece. But we are, right? Like, I believe we actually gain IQ points the more time that we spend out in nature. And it's because we remember who we be. One of the biggest things for folks that I work with is self-doubt and confidence, right? Like, we all want to talk to animals in nature, but we're like, am I making that up? Which I get that. And there's ways to deal with that when you're learning how to do that. But self-doubt is the biggest dream killer. Yeah. And whenever we're in self-doubt, we're forgetting how amazing we are, right? Yeah. Like, the fact that we're alive, it's beyond. It's so amazing. And because we're trudging through life every day and just trying to pay our bills, we forget, right? Yeah. And so we have to be reminded of how miraculous it is that we're even here. Yeah. And just being outside, right? Japanese forest bathing, right? Like, there's a whole science behind that. Wow. All of this, right? It's because you're out there. And the more that you're reminded of who you truly be, the more that self-doubt melts away. So we have to have the things, right? And the people who are my people, my tribe, are the people who are lit up by animals in nature. And they're the ones who are going, I knew there was something else going on, right? I knew it. Those are my people. And we all have our own portals, right? Some people it's angels, right? Mm-hmm. Like, or, different deities or whatever it is, or their ancestors, family members who've crossed over. They talk to their grandma all the time. You have to find what it is that lights you up. For me, always has been, always will be, animals in nature. Yeah. And that's it. We got to find our portal, the thing that lets us jump into finding our joy, the thing that lets us light up, right? And when we're lit up, people get lit up by seeing us lit up, right? Like, people love seeing me on the ground with the dogs because they're like, you are a grown-ass woman in a dress on the floor wrestling with the St. Bernard. Okay.
I love that being an example of joy, or, I'm not going to be embarrassed by this goofy thing I'm going to do right now, and
Don't
you
worry
can
about
do
the
it
cleaning
too.
bill later.
Right. Absolutely. I think that is kind of a form of activism, a form of being peaceful, perhaps, giving people a chance. Anna Maria has a book. Do you have more than one book out?
I'm working on the second one right now, actually.
Okay, cool. And so I've read most of the book, and we are kind of giving a summary of a lot of things. So I encourage people to pick up some of these other resources and delve deeper into the things we're talking about. And that's where this little nugget of the lost episode ends. But I think it contains a lot of good information that is kind of extra to the full episode. That is technically the 6th episode I recorded. The date was July 8th that we launched it. It's 38 minutes long. So this gives you a full hour of Anna Maria and her wisdom. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out more episodes if you like. There's plenty out there. Subscribe, rate the podcast, support the podcast. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, and see you soon.
Welcome to Nude Foods Market, where we make plastic-free grocery shopping convenient, easy, joyful, and local. We have everything from produce, snacks, meat, and fresh bread to home care, body care, and ready-made meals. The big difference is that our deeply researched organic and local groceries come pre-packaged in returnable glass jars. You shop just like a regular store. The only difference is that instead of putting all that packaging into landfill when you're done with it, you bring it back to us to be reused hundreds more times. Visit our stores in Denver and Boulder and get $10 off your first shop. Go to nudefoodsmarket.com/COSOL to claim your coupon. We're locally owned, women owned, and working hard to fix our broken food system. So hope you can pop in and check us out soon.